Good evening. If you would like to listen to a grown adult drone on for 10 or 15 minutes about high-low plastic aggressive inline skating frames, well, you've come to the right place. I've skated the classic Wish frame quite a bit. I can't remember when it came out, if it was 2016 or 2017. Very likely 2016. And I had an amazing experience with this frame, and I love it. My favorite wheel profile for it, which I've talked about before, was having 54s in the middle and 65s on the outside, and I skated it almost like an anti-rocker setup that had a little bit of swivelly in all of the like blade practice era. And then before that, I skated it on Sebas with 57, 85 face in the middle and 66.5 Kryptonics wheels that are impossible to get now, the splinter wheels. And that felt amazing, but then you can't get that wheel size anymore. I found that it skated, or I'll talk about this part later. I've skated the black, I've had two sets of the black ones, one set of a white tester that had a different material that was a little bit too brittle. And then the newer ones that I have, the red ones and the yellow ones, seem to be a perfect mix of not too hard, not too soft. It wears really nice. Quite slow wear pattern. I'm not sure what the material is, but I love the classic. And for this year, I skated 72s and 60s in the middle. 72s on the outside, 60s in the middle. These are the undercover Nick Lomax, and these are the Compass Guy Crawford. A big problem with both the medium and the large Wish frame for me and for Todd is that we skate for undercover, but they don't have all the wheel sizes or all the right wheel sizes to fit in these frames. They make a 72, but it's the thin speed profile, and it can feel really squirrely when you mix it with the 60s. I wish they had a wider profile like Compass. And then the same for the medium one. Undercover makes a 64 with the metal core, but that's only for park. And these are for real street inline skating. I mean, you can use them in park, but I want to use them for real street inline skating. So it's like a limited, you have to find the right wheel combination, the right hardness. If you're weird about colored wheels and them matching, then it makes it even more limited, just like I am, so you have to try and find things that match. In this one, I was in the 50-50, 65-90, and then the Orange Wheel Company, Charles Nantel, Canadian kid, 52-92 in the middle. Now, like I said, I skated 54 and 65 on the classic ones for a long time, and then the 57, 66.5. I didn't like the way 60 with 72 felt. It felt a little too high off the ground. It was fast, but it felt a little too sticky. So it was nice to go back to it and finally try it and give it a whirl after being away for it for a while. So what is the difference for me, between the classic or large size? I don't know, do you call it classic or do you call it large? I think I call this classic Wish frame. And the medium. Well, this one is 260 and one is 28. I don't know the numbers. This is shorter though, and it's lower to the ground. Not by a lot though, but it is lower. This one feels like what I liked about riding this one 54, 65 on the outside. And this one feels a lot like a traditional aggressive flat frame, if that makes any sense, with a little bit of swivelly and a more modern groove. It's more solid too, in terms of bolt protection, and I think this feels solid. It could just be that because it's less material than this one, it feels more solid. But the bolt protection in the sole area is great. And then this is a little bit different here. But so what are the differences between the two? You imagine this with 60s and 72s, how it's intended to do. This is like a cruising frame. Somebody called it the Cadillac. So this is the Cadillac. If you want to cruise, you can swivel, but it's not perfect for swiveling. Cruising and not striding a lot and getting your speed, having a recreation, kind of like a big wheel feeling or recreational setup. It's like if a power blade frame morphed from watching a bunch of aggressive skating videos. And I have said before, it takes wizard frames, freestyle frames, anti-rocker, high-low frames, grind plate. It takes pretty much everything about aggressive frame design in the last 20 years and mushes it all into one frame that you can skate more spots with, rougher ground. It's like a aggressive hybrid frame. That's what this is to me. And it can be swivelly with the right rocker, but if you skate at 7260, it's a cruisy feeling, which it took me a while for me to figure that out. This frame at its best is the Cadillac. And then I don't know the car term for this one. Sorry the wheels aren't in the middle, but this is like the aggressive version of it. You're not going to get as cruisy of a feeling. It's more swivelly, so it's more for tricks and traditional aggressive feel, if that makes sense. I don't know what car that would be though. What else about these? I swear they felt lower, but they are. When you look at them side by side, they look pretty close to the same. This is in two sizes. I'm in the bigger one, which is 260 something, and Todd's in it's pretty close to the medium 50-50 what he's in. I still think the biggest cons, when you're talking about pros and cons with both of these frames, is just trying to get a consistent wheel setup that you like. That's all the same color. There's more options now, but I just wish there were more 65s available. I wish there were more 72s available. Even 59 is a weird size. Undercover does have a 59 mold and a team wheel, but it's like stock is limited sometimes, and yeah. It's nice to be able to buy all the same wheel, all the same color, and skate them. So that's the biggest con about that. The other thing is, this frame skated really, really well on the Seba CJ with that giant sole plate. This frame won't feel taller, or the grind angle won't feel weird if you have a giant sole plate. This one will feel more like a traditional aggressive frame, like low rider 50-50, not as low, but I swear the grind angle is less on this. So if you have a smaller sole plate, you'll want this one. This with a giant ping pong paddle, you won't feel that much of a difference. And I think that's why this performed really well when I skated on the Sebas. It kind of matched that sole and boot quite well. I think that's everything I wanted to say. I really like the look of Solomon hardware, or 50-50 hardware. I really like the look of the silver hardware over the black hardware. It matches the 909 cuff bolts quite well, and buckle. If I missed anything, ask questions, but Cadillac, cruising, recreational, aggressive hybrid, more traditional, swivelly, grinder bladey, traditional aggressive. Or small feet, big feet. More wheels needed, badly, for both of these. Wheel choice shouldn't be a confusing thing that takes a lot of energy, but it does with these. Not a lot, just more than you would like. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. Plenty more to come. Keep skating or something.